This industry, if you let it, it'll steal your soul. But I refuse to let that happen.
This industry, assuming that you let it, it'll take your spirit yet. I will not allow that to happen, yes, Taraji P. Henson challenges Oprah, and the remainder of Ron Hollywood following quite a while of embarrassment, yet might the entertainer at any point win buy-in offer us go ahead and see whether Henson keeps on lying about supporting Winfrey out of dread for her wrongdoings life, which entertainer vocation did Taraji assist ruin with creating her supervisor's gain, and presently thinks twice about. It was her new sob for assist great PR that will with assisting that equivalent Oprah with raking in boatloads of cash. It has proactively gotten $25 million. It was loads of fun. I simply recall it finishing with us doing the electric slide with Miss Oprah, relatively few individuals can express that during the promotion crusade for the melodic variety Purple. Taraji P. Henson discussed Oprah. She was in the set, aiding the group and rousing the entertainer, even posted on Instagram that Winfrey is as a mainstay of society, and she adore her. Taji likely did this because of dread on the grounds that 7 days sooner she shot the host for her covetousness and reluctance to assist dark specialists. In a meeting with Gale family, the entertainer burst out crying over low compensation and hardships. She confronted 20 or more years in the game, and I hear exactly the same thing, and I see how you help one more creation, and it's the ideal opportunity for us to hit the sack. You have no cash, they play wreck. In front of you, Oprah is the maker of the movie Variety Purple, and these allegations were made against her. The news magnate wasn't even humiliated on the grounds that she realizes she endured more regrettable things that were tossed at her and will not permit an entertainer to compromise her. Henson is replaceable genuinely on the off chance that you made this film for $30 or $4 million. The premium in the cast would be very different once the film arrives at $90 to $100 million. Everybody will be of that we should project Beyonce. In addition, Henson has a ton to lose. The dad of her kid died and her child is continually in peril. Watch until the finish to see whether the conflict with Oprah will be deadly for Deji or will she retreat as she has done previously. And I be able to it. Didn't have the foggiest idea how to tell he was cut to death. It was the most terrible way you could do. And I didn't have the words. I didn't have the foggiest idea how to tell a 9-year-old. You see, it's not in vain that the entertainer has become one of the best in the business. She knew the guidelines of the game, who is the supervisor, how to observe the guidelines and not make issues, and keeping in mind that the unfairness didn't influence Henson. She was all right with it. And they don't have an association who's safeguarding the craftsmen, so I got my child together and I moved west since I had a real sense of safety with acting. I assume I pursued the ideal decision. Her leading edge job was in the 2008 movie The Inquisitive Instance of Benjamin Button. It quickly got an Oscar selection. Then came the hit Secret Figures, and Henson handled her fantasy job in the tremendously effective series Realm. It ran on Fox from 2015 to 2020 and made Taraji fans #1. And a Uber star, procuring her $4.6 million. Moreover, she got a Tony Grant and a Brilliant Globe. Then Henson was not humiliated. The job was expected. Not really for her, but rather for Monique. I was offered the piece of treat. Now, I don't disapprove of Mr. Daniel, saying you understand what they need to go with Taji, right? No issue. Monique had recently decried Oprah and Tyler Perry, with whom Taji had a magnificent relationship as of not long ago. She featured in Perry's The Family, that recognition for which she got $500,000 in 2008. It was as her most significant salary at that point, and she commended the chief for his liberality. Yet Monique whined that such income in Hollywood are bizarre, and both Perry and Oprah can stand to pay their craftsmen considerably more. Her profession was destroyed for this. Challenging to work with, and they quit calling her for respectable ventures. The offers that were being offered was as though I always lost any honors, and I just could, as of now, not acknowledge those low offers. And those contents, in light of the fact that when do you define the boundaries starting around 2011? The entertainer has been griping about treachery in the business, yet her sisters on the set didn't help her at all. Taraji was quiet, yet we should not make her an associate of Oprah on the grounds that Henson expected to work and make money for her as well as her child, who grew up without a dad, yet she didn't have a lot of work, and the entertainer was up for nearly anything with nothing going on. We're lounging around talking heads on Zoom, and he calls and he resembles you. Realize you're being tapped for Suge. I said, Suge what? And he resembled Suge Avery for Purple. I said, gracious God. Why Variety Purple is an exemplary that was at that point adjusted to the big screen in 1985. 5. By the Manor with Oprah. In one of the key jobs, perhaps due to this, the host chose to take her own twist on this disastrous yet motivating story. As a result of her desires, the movie got a robust spending plan of $100 million, and presently she as need might have arisen to spend that cash carefully. And this is where Taraji's concerns began. They would have rather not employed her, and a few different entertainers. The chief Rush Bazaar. Mo needed to battle for the option to keep the young lady in the group. You will be the one with them consistently. Nobody ought to let you know who to pick for this work yet. For what reason did Oprah choose to dispose of the devoted Henson? Truly, after Domain finished Taraji term, aided her whole group from directors and specialists to collaborators. Everyone needed to F and go. Where is my arrangement? Where's my business treat? Was at the highest point of the design game. Where is my underwriting? What did you have set up for after this? That is the reason you all haven't seen me in so lengthy. They had nothing set up. She was named for an Oscar, won a lot of different honors. Regardless, needed to ask Henson, needed to try out for the job of Eshin Variety Purple, despite the fact that she was presumably the most renowned entertainer on the rundown. Yet for what reason did she begin to oppose such bad form? Just in 2023, everything revolves around her family. In 2019, the entertainer advertisement aided in a meeting with Self magazine that throughout the previous 10 years she dreaded for her life. Marcel Johnson had been come by the police at least a few times with no explanation since he was a youthful person of color. The George Floyd occurrence and different misfortunes prompted Ed Raji to foster wretchedness and neurosis. Her child could constantly been next. There would be days when my cerebrum wouldn't quit dashing with the most obviously terrible situations on the planet, which would hide in my uneasiness. There was no disgrace when I began to remember it. In a similar meeting, she noticed that even the way that her child is the offspring of a VIP won't save him. After all, he is definitely not a public individual. Individuals don't know him. How they didn't have the foggiest idea about her sweetheart Marcel's dad that broke Henson. There is no equity throughout everyday life, and a similar destiny could happen to her child. The entertainer believed that status and cash would save her kid, yet moguls like Oprah have made it exceptionally difficult to arrive at such levels and bring in cash. So when you hear somebody saying, gracious such and such made $10 million, no, that is not that didn't come to their record. Realize that off the top Uncle Sam is getting half that is. Right. In addition to the entertainers give 30% of the returns to the movie's group, and presently Henson has barely anything left for her leading edge role in Benjamin Button. She got just $150,000, albeit the studio needed to pay even less. The entertainer requested $500,000, yet she was given 33% of that, the majority of which went to pay the group. Just $40,000 arrived at Miss Henson's record. That is burglary going on like this. Her child won't have the security to ragey hungers for yet. Oprah is a type. She resides in shut areas of LA with high fences and individual security.